everyone, it's Alex. Welcome back to my channel. I thought I would do a little makeup get ready with me. I am going to stream in a little bit. I don't really have a schedule for streaming, it's just whenever I feel like it, which is every couple of days. But I thought I would do makeup and just mess around and just chat about what the fuck has been happening in my life. I haven't really made an update video since 2018, I think. I won't have like the best quality because I'm just using my webcam, but I think just for sitting down and chatting, I think this should be good. I do have eyebrows, they're just blonde. Anyway, I graduated college in 2017. I applied to over 150 jobs. I was trying my best. Oh shit. Oh shit. That went everywhere. I was trying my hardest to move out of the Midwest. But yeah, a lot of places wanted you to already be living in that state, and they wouldn't hire anyone outside of state or outside of the city at all. I'm like, people move for work, right? Like, I am full, like, give me legit 2 weeks and I will be fully moved in and ready to work. But no one wanted to wait 2 weeks, I guess, or I mean, they wouldn't even have to pay a moving fee or anything like that because I'm straight out of college. I was applying all over. I was like looking in Tennessee. I love Nashville. I was looking in Nashville, and it just like was not not working. I even drove to Nashville. This is one of my interviews. They wanted me to come in person for an interview, which like the audacity of that doing that today when we have Zoom and like all of this technology. I drove, I think it was a 6 hour drive there because there was a time difference. I don't know. Whatever. I think it was 6 hours there and then it was 5 hours back. But I stayed in like the shittiest, dirtiest, most disgusting hotel I've ever stayed probably in my life. Like there were bugs everywhere, there were stains all over the bed, but like I was so fucking poor and like I really needed this job that like I just stayed there overnight. Thor is listening to my story. It was like for nursing home design or something like that, which is something I'm actually interested in. I think we can like make design not so fucking sterile in the healthcare industry and like make it fun and like that's something I am interested in. I don't ever want to design for hospitals. There's too many codes, there's too many laws, and that's when it becomes not fun anymore for me. But I went down there. I kind of gave a shit interview. It wasn't like the best, but they weren't really excited. I didn't have any experience, and I said like, I do have interest in working here, but honestly, touring the office, they they had like all the new recently grads like on this one counter, like in this dark room, which now I work in like a dark room. I cannot stand. We don't use big lights. I hate the big lights. I hate it. I literally have blackout curtains. I need to work in the dark because it's like overstimulating. But they didn't even have like their own desk. They all shared this one giant counter. They're just like shoved in the back, just all doing CAD together. I'm like, okay, this is like a factory or something. This is weird. Then I drove all the way back. I think I emailed them like once and I never heard from them again. And it was like, okay, I drove all of that way and we literally could have just talked on the fucking phone and not waste my time. I did not have that money to rent that hotel. It was just shitty. But yeah, Ohio, never heard back from a single one of them. I'm like, I'm literally from Ohio, but because I live in Indiana, because I still live in Muncie where I went to college, they're like, oh, but you don't live here, so we're not even going to consider you. Like, what the fuck? And then it was maybe, I think it was like February 2018. I think it was shortly after my birthday. I was still, of course, looking for jobs, 150 jobs, and I never wanted to move to Florida. I never wanted to ever live here, but I saw this company that I thought was cool. I could do a story time about that if you want, but like, actually, I'll kind of tell it here, but they looked cool. They looked very modern. Like all of these places that I was applying for, they're very like their design, like nothing's bad with it, but like the design style is very dated, it's very traditional, and that's just like not my style. Or like, it's just very dated. Like I want to design something that's gonna be, universal and it's gonna last a long time. But these places that are getting built and they already look like they're 20 years old. Like I don't want to be a part of a design firm like that, you know? But I found this place, they looked very modern, they looked really cool. They did multifamily, which is like apartment complexes, and they did like the amenity spaces, and like these places looked like so freaking awesome. And they've been around for about like 30 years, and I'm not going to say any names. Um, but I applied there, and it was the only job that I applied to in Florida. And I heard back. They wanted to do an interview, so I did that. It was, of course, over the phone. It was over the phone. Because in Florida, everyone's a transplant. There's not, especially like where I live, there's not, there are some locals, but there's so many transplants. There's so many people from Ohio in the Midwest, New York, they're down here because it's warm and we're tired of the cold. Um, but I did a phone interview. It went great. I did another phone interview with like the studio leaders. So I did it kind of like with the hiring manager and then like the studio leaders to kind of like get a better feel of like where I would fit in and stuff like that. So they have new construction and they had a renovation team. And I was stating how much I love renovation. I want to do readaptive, oh my God, adaptive reuse. I forgot the word. I love renovation so much. And they're like, well, this job, like, we don't need renovation, like a person right now. So this would be new construction. And I'm like, okay, like that's fine. Like millions and millions and millions of dollars being spent on these projects. Like I've worked on really scary, massive projects where they're spending a lot of money, and now I'm used to it. But like at the time, it was very scary. I'm like, you guys are spending. I can't even like give you a ballpark, but like a sink would be $900, and I'm like, that's just a sink. Like you have to build everything. Oh my God. I didn't realize how expensive everything was. It's very expensive. And then they flew me down. They call it like a working interview. They just because they do it with everyone actually. They just want to make sure that like your style kind of matches up with theirs. So they'll give you like a fake project to work on. I have a story about this. And then they'll give you like a blank floor plan. They're like, okay, we need a fitness room, we need a lounge, we need offices, we need like a leasing area. And they kind of just tell you to design. And then you go to Pinterest and kind of create like a mood board. And you have to do this in 8 hours. So I was like, they flew me down on like Thursday or something, and I did this on like a Friday. People leave early on a Friday, and like no one, like everyone's leaving, and I'm like sitting there, I'm like, hello. But one of the managers, who I did end up working under, uh, she came over, and what was kind of funny was that like in the floor plan, I'm talking about this way too much, but sorry. In the floor plan, she's like, well, actually, we did it this way and this way and this way. And I'm like, okay, but am I guessing what you did? Like, I don't know. But she's like, yeah, this is all very good. Like, everything looks great. Your mood board, actually, we use these images. Like, we've done this, we've done this. And I'm like, okay, cool. So, like, I match their aesthetic and stuff like that. It's very, like, white Miami, very modern, but, like, playful. That's very broad. Um, and it took a while to hear back from them. It took 6 weeks. This was before they had HR. And they hired me. And I literally accepted a job before, like the day before I heard from them. And it was for the shitty company. I can tell that story a different time because that was a scam. That was a scam. And luckily I didn't sign any paperwork. And I called my parents and I'm like, I just got a job offer and it's in Florida. And they're like, okay, let's do it. So we moved because it was so far away. It took 3 weeks to move down there. I we packed everything up. We drove 20 plus hours in like a U-Haul. And that's when we moved in 2018. I think it was we left April 2nd, 2018. We got to Florida April 3rd at like midnight in 2018. And I've been here ever since. In on August 13th, 2021 is when I quit the job. And now I work remotely from home. I've been working remotely since 2020 and I've never left. I love it. I'm never working back in an office again. Like, I love working from home. It's just so convenient and it's just easier. It's easier for me to like focus. Like when I have people coming up to me, oh my God, at that office job, I loved my coworkers. I love them. I still do. but damn, everyone's chatty as fuck. And like, you have the phone constantly ringing and people are talking to you and like stuff like that. Like, I kind of miss being around that environment sometimes and like seeing everyone because now I just sit at home. But it's just like the constant chatting. And then it's an open office plan. So you can hear everyone's. Remember how I was supposed to be getting ready? I totally forgot. It was an open office plan. And like you would have like three people be on a conference call and they're all different. They're all like pretty much shouting. But yeah, I would try to wear headphones and try to like just block out the noise. But like if somebody's trying to talk to me, I need to hear them. And then if the phone rings, it's for me. And it's like, oh my God, like there's just so much going on. I'm like, I can't fucking think. And I actually, when we transferred to working from home because of the pandemic, I got so much work done so quick. Yeah, I decided to quit because the work environment became very toxic. I cannot get ready while I am talking. Um, anyway, but yeah, the workplace just got very toxic. It was fine before the pandemic, and then after the pandemic, we had a lot of projects go pencils down because, of course, we didn't know what was happening. Everybody shut down. All the factories, all the material places, manufacturers, everyone shut down. So we had a lot of projects on hold. We call it pencils down. That'll be picked up later. We did lose some. They just like canceled the project. It was early on enough where they're like, we looked at the budget, we've had to lay people off and like all this stuff, and like we're just gonna like not do this project anymore. Some projects were under construction, and in Florida they allowed them to continue construction because we have a housing crisis. Um, it's like, I'm just gonna say this: don't move to Florida. Like we're full, we're full. I'm trying to move. We're trying to move. We're trying to do our part. It was nice for about 6 to 8 months in the pandemic. It was just like nice and easy because the chaos kind of stopped. And then they all picked up all at the same time, and they wanted to keep their original deadlines. We haven't started anything. They're like, yeah, can we like get this like next week? No. But you know what my boss said? She's like, yes, of course. Of course, we can accommodate for that. Like, you want a full project that usually takes 3 to 4 months to do. You want this in 2 weeks? Yeah, we could do that. Yeah. We haven't started anything. Like, we haven't even looked at the floor plan. Like, but yeah, yeah, we could do that. So after probably a full year of just like constantly on the go, I would work over 40 hours. My longest shift was 15 and a half hours, and people were laid off, people quit because they were just so fucking stressed the fuck out. And then I was running one extremely large project by myself, and then one kind of like medium size, but like the client was very like hands-on and thought he was an architect, but he's not an architect, and like would give us advice and say you need to draw the drawings like this because that's how the architects do it. It's like they don't. They don't. But we had so many revisions that they're paying for, by the way. Like they're just giving us money. I'm not getting that money. My boss is getting that money, but it it was a lot. It was a lot. And I had to work on both those projects on the same day one time, and I did not get home probably till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, they're like, oh, but you can leave early on Friday if you want or something. Not the day off though, but you can like leave early on Friday. But yeah, we're not going to do anything to like prevent this from happening. And I was asking for help for months. For months. I'm like, I need, because at the time I was an associate, which there's no such thing as associate interior designer, by the way. There's assistant and interior designer. Associate is just a stepping stone for them, just kind of like a little process, just so they can pay you a little bit less, but like fully expect you to be a full on project manager, which, honey, for that salary, that was not even fucking worth it. I was asking for help for so fucking long. And I got over it. And I was so burnt out. I was crying every day. I have a TikTok account, and I was making TikToks at the time. And you can see I had acne all over. And right now, I think I only have one kind of red spot. Everything else is like scars. You can see how fucking goddamn miserable I was. And it was awful. And the only reason why I was staying at the job at the time is because of health insurance. And I was kind of afraid. But literally, I made a TikTok while I was doing that. I recorded my realization, and it's so funny to see. And you can kind of see the relief of what the fuck I was just going through. So I have a serious question, and I don't know what to do. I don't know. I honestly feel like crying right now because I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I am like not motivated at all. I'm so fucking burnt out and like, God. I want to quit my job. Like, how do you stay motivated to keep working while you're still filling out like your portfolio? Like, I have to completely redo mine because my college one is complete fucking shit, but I'm still gonna give it to them. Like, I went to college, here's my shit. But my resume's ready. It's a 2-pager. It's as short as I can make it. That's ready. I could just send that out. I just like, how do you stay motivated to keep working at a job that like you don't like anymore, that like you don't give a shit? Like I'm so close to putting my 2 weeks. I don't know what to do. And the only reason why I haven't put it in yet is because I need health insurance, because I live in the United States of fucking America where we don't have universal health care, and they're so against it. Like, why must we have a job to have affordable health care? And like, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but for the past year, I've been getting weekly allergy injections because my allergies were interfering with my life. Like every other week, I wouldn't be able to like see. I wouldn't be able to open my eyes because they were in so much pain. But I've been getting weekly shots for a year. I've like spent all this time and money and energy getting these shots. I'm trying to make my body immune to the only allergy I have so I can fucking live. And I could probably go like a month without these shots. I only have to go, well, I only have to go every 2 weeks now. And the shots are like $40, which sucks. Should I write my notice? They're only $40 every 2 weeks? Fuck. The only thing is the vial that you need, which is like the serum, is maybe $300, $400. So, but if I only go once a month, those things last like 6 months. In the TikTok, I just realized, I'm like, oh my God, I can do this. I can quit my job and I can just pay out of pocket. Like, I can actually afford it. And I was like, I can finally quit this goddamn awful job. And I didn't have a backup plan. That was like, it just got to a point that it was so bad that like if I stayed any longer, I would probably end up in a psych ward. Like, it was bad. I was so fucking unhappy. And I finally quit. And they tried, the CEO tried her best to try to keep me. And I long story short, I have her blocked on a lot of things. Like, I want nothing to do with her or that company ever again. And what's funny is that you can't use them as a reference. They can confirm that you worked there, but they don't give out references. I'm like, you know what? That's fine. That's okay. I need a clean break from you. I just need to remove you out of every aspect of my life, and I'll be happy. It was not a fun time afterwards. I worked at Staples again. I did Uber. I did like every little thing. I applied to so many jobs, but luckily, one of my old coworkers who got laid off found a new job in North Carolina. They didn't have like an official posting. It's all about people that you know. Once you know people, they can get you into anywhere. So she posted something about her job looking for interior designers, especially like to do construction documents. And I'm like, that's what I fucking do. So I applied. I got hired very quickly, and I've been here for a year and a half. It feels like I just got hired. Like, it's already been a year and 4 months. And I fucking love it. They are fucking amazing. Now everyone works from home. It's a completely remote job. Everyone works from home. They actually downsize their office because they're like, no one's here. Like, why are we paying this giant lease for this big place when we don't need it? And on like, we just need like a drop off place, honestly. we are planning on moving back to Indiana, to Indianapolis, hopefully this summer, but we will see how that goes. Moving is expensive. My boyfriend, who I still have from 2018, but he is a teacher and he needs to apply for jobs. There aren't a lot of jobs open right now. We may not move to Indianapolis right away. We're kind of like still figuring out, but we want to move back home because we want to be closer to family, which is ironic because when I first got out of college, I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to get out of the Midwest, which I think was good. I think everyone should move away from their hometown and like experience a little bit of the world first. I will never move back to my hometown because there's no jobs for me there. There's nothing. And so, yeah, I wanted to start streaming. I love watching people stream and play video games. I'm like, I want to play video games, man. And I finally have the correct settings on my Streamlabs. Thank you, Thor. I'm still learning, but like I think this is going to be a fun new hobby. I would like to get new makeup. See, the things that like I want cost money and we're trying so hard to save up to move. I have this really okay, one thing, Benefit Cosmetics, the Give Me Brow. I love this. If you're naturally blonde, you can get the one and it's not like too strong. I love this. This one is super old and disgusting. It still has some color left. See, I have eyebrows. Just not a lot. I used to overdo my brows and it like you could see it. It looked so bad. Why did no one tell me that like 2016 eyebrows were god awful? Just like stick with your natural brows. Maybe fill in a few spots. But God, I look like freaking cartoon eyebrows. They looked so fake. They were so heavy. And some people will say like, "Oh my God, where are your eyebrows?" Stuff like that. I'm like, "Honey, should I just shave it?" Oh, I'll put on a layer. I have very long lashes, but again, they're blonde. I'll do this. I use my little tweezers. I kind of separate them. There is this tool that you can use to kind of like brush them, which is cool. And then I take my curler. I just kind of like press against it like that. I don't know if you can see that. And kind of like curls it. It's not the best, most effective method, but this is what I do. If you really want a strong curl, as a non-makeup person that doesn't really wear makeup, I would heat up the curler. I would just use my hairdryer to kind of like heat it up, and then you would actually clamp it. Curls instantly. Like it holds very well. Yeah, look at that difference. That's insane. These are my natural lashes. We weren't here for Hurricane Irma. So when we moved, it was April 3rd. Well, I moved first, then my boyfriend joined me a month later, and we were still together. Fun fact, we were only dating for 6 months, and he didn't have a job. He was also in the same boat where he could not get a job anywhere in Indiana. I don't know, Indiana was just like cursed. Like no one was hiring or something. We both were not having luck. So he was gonna join me for the summer. He actually got a job at the YMCA. I think it's like a camp counselor or something like that. He's like, at least for the summer, we can be here because we've only been dating for 6 months and we had no fucking plan. We're like, we'll just try this. And one good thing is like we've known each other since my freshman year. It was his sophomore year of college. So we've known each other for like a long time already, since 2013. But he packed up his little red Buick car. I think it was like a 2003 Buick. I don't know, 100% sure. I think 2003. Beat up, falling apart. I don't even know how it made it across the country, to be honest. Packed up very little items that he had, drove across the country, and moved in, never left. And he was able to find like Florida, they hire so quick. It's just Florida, like damn. Oh yeah, I was telling you a story. So we were not here for Hurricane Irma, but we saw still like some of the damages from when we moved down here. We had a couple of scares. Tropical storms are honestly just like bad storms. Like there's nothing to be afraid of at all. But then Hurricane Ian, yeah, we had to evacuate for that one. What was it? A category 4, and it was gonna hit Tampa. If it hit Tampa, we would have stayed, like whatever. but we were in evacuation zone 2, which meant we could have possibly been flooded. We're in this little rinky-dink house duplex that was like built in, oh, probably like the 70s maybe, if that. And I have my two cats. My two cats are very anxious cats for some reason. Like, hot damn. So I was just, if it was just us two, we probably would have stayed. But the thing is, if everything would have flooded and like our cars were damaged, like we would be fucked because all of our all the assets we have are our vehicles. But like if those were trashed in any way, like we would seriously be fucked. We would be in hardcore trouble. And then actually our chiropractor, because once you get old, you have to go to a chiropractor because everyone has a bad back. Everyone, it sucks. Um, he said for Hurricane Fiona, no, I'm sorry, Hurricane Irma, they went to Alabama because everything was going like towards Georgia and everyone was going to Georgia. But the hurricane was going to still hit in Georgia. So they mentioned how they went to Alabama, they just chilled there, they got a hotel, and then they drove back. And like no one was going to Alabama. So that's what we did. We stayed east of Montgomery. I don't remember the town name, but it was like a trucker stop town. You can easily find it. It's like 20 minutes east of Montgomery. And very noisy. We stayed at this not a Holiday Inn. It was like a little tiny motel, and it's honestly what we could have afforded because we had to stay there for like a whole week. I was still working, like, because I had to work from home. And since we had already evacuated and we were safe, I'm like, well, I'll just keep working. And it was just like, oh my God, I just like need to get out. And we knew everything, like our house was safe, because our landlord stayed in Bonita Springs where his parents are. And he said everything looked fine. There was just minor like exterior damage, like who needs a house gutter? No one really needs that. And like the screen, the back lanai screen was like ripped up and like kind of dented, but like everything inside there was no flooding, there was nothing. We're like, okay. But like I was just so cramped up, and after a lot of talking, we decided to finally go back. I'm like, I just want to be home. We got the whole week off because we did not have power when we were driving back. So we left on, I think we left on Saturday, and it was kind of getting dark. It was taking a while getting back, and we decided to stay a little bit north of Tampa. And we stayed at this wonderful Marriott hotel. It was like a vacation in there. We had like a king size bed, and then they had like a living room, then they had like a little bar, and we're like there's just space. The motel is just like bed, TV. You are so cramped together, and you have the two cats. If we could have afforded to stay there, and if the hurricane wasn't hitting like directly towards like Fort Myers, Tampa, and stuff like that, we would have stayed there. But oh my God, it was wonderful. And then when we headed back, we left like in the morning and we got back. It took like 3 hours to head back. And it was weird, like all the leaves on the trees were gone, which was really weird. It looked like winter, but like all the leaves were gone. Now they're back. Now they're back. Everything's fine. But like it was just kind of eerie, and like so many signs were knocked down. Like Topgolf, like you know how they have like that huge screen? That screen was like gone. They replaced that thing in like a week. They were prepared. But like everything, it just looked like a wasteland. There's so much debris. There were power lines down. It was very eerie and just kind of sad. We were watching the news, and just Fort Myers beaches completely gone. All the houses, all the restaurants, hotels, it's gone. And I was just there. I was just there visiting with my cousin because she wanted to go see it. And it's sad. Like, I don't even think they allow a lot of people back there still. Like, the beaches are closed. Like, it's not good. I think there's one restaurant and one hotel that's now back open. They are slowly rebuilding. But like my favorite restaurant was Bella Mozzarella on the Fort Myers beach. It was like the only Italian restaurant next to the beach. Everything else is seafood, and I don't eat seafood, but that place was so good. But it's like there's nothing. Like there was never anything there to begin with. It's just yeah, it's sad. But like our neighborhood, there's just a lot of debris, just a lot of trees knocked over, and people had like a week to clean up. So it was just like all on the side of the road, just like mountains of like branches and leaves and trees chopped up. Like it's just kind of weird. It's weird to see it. And now it's you drive around, you see kind of some debris. Everyone's roof, they like every other house has like a blue tarp pretty much over their roof. Everyone's roof needs to be repaired. Ours actually just got repaired this past week while I was home. No one told me that they were starting, and they started at 6:30 in the morning. I was not happy about that. I thought the roof was caving in. But everything's fine. In our neighborhood, everyone is good. Yeah, that was just a let's make that a once in a lifetime experience and let's not go through that again. So when we got here Sunday, I don't think we had power. I think it was like maybe Wednesday, so we only had like a couple of days without it. And it was hot. It was so hard to sleep. We were just so freaking hot. There's no air movement. We had all the windows open, but it's just like, God damn, we need a fan. We were just sweating. Oh, another thing that happened was there's a crack in the main water pipe for our water supply for Fort Myers in like Lee County. So we couldn't drink the water. And we're like, are you how did that happen? We prepped before we came back. When we were heading back, we bought I think I bought like 4 or 6 cases of water, and I was taking them from like Tampa or stuff like that, and or I don't even remember. No, it was Alabama. It was Alabama before we left. So like they didn't need it, we needed it. So I took like literally 6 cases of water back home, and thank God. But then we got power. We didn't have internet. Like I didn't care about internet. I just needed the goddamn AC. That's all I wanted. To be able to use my coffee maker, to be able to like cook food. Um, it wasn't so terrible. Like we could go out to eat at some of the restaurants that were open, but they would have limited supplies because the trucks couldn't get down there to deliver food. So they had what they had, which was good because we're like, we have ramen and like canned vegetables and like it wasn't a lot. And then we just watched endless DVDs. Like I probably watched 30 movies in like a couple of days just to like keep entertained. Played a lot of board games. And then we got the internet, but like the internet would go out for like a couple hours. It was like a little iffy. I think it came back on like Friday or Saturday or something like that, but they had a lot of work to do. And still, I think even today it's not 100% great, but yeah, that was a fun experience. Let me do my other eye. Also, I have the e.l.f. palettes called like New Classic, and I use the Charmer. I need to buy blush. I do not, I use this one. Okay. I do not have a lot of makeup. And then I think you just like go like that, and then I just kind of like start patting it because I do not have a brush, or you can kind of do like this. It kind of gets heavy though. It kind of looks like a bruise. I do a little bit on my nose. Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna do some fake freckles. What I like to do, I like to use my eyeliner because this is the only one I have, and I just kind of like lightly speck it. It looks so cute. I lightly speck it, and then I kind of like tap it with my finger to kind of like make it less intense. And I kind of just like do it right away so it doesn't, just kind of like fades it a little bit more. It kind of reminds me of like Wendy's, the mascot. Her freckles are so dark, but I kind of like it. Beep, 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 beep. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I will share a picture of it up close so you can see it. It's kind of like Xenon. I actually miss doing my eyeliner with like eyeshadow. It's just like a little bit softer. It's not so dramatic. Welcome to my janky ass makeup tutorial. I have to go help my boyfriend cut his hair. It's a very normal sentence. And then I will be online streaming. But thank you guys. Hope you enjoy. Sorry, this was like a long video. A lot has happened in the last 5 years, but hope to keep making videos. I also cannot see anything right now. There we go. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys soon. Bye.